The commander of coalition forces, General Norman Schwarzkopf, called it preparing the battlefield. He knew that neither intense diplomatic efforts nor the condemnations of the United Nations were likely to persuade Iraq to leave Kuwait. The problem would be decided by military action and by battle on the ground. For his ground offensive to work, the opposing Iraqi land forces had to be hit hard from the air. The Iraqis possessed the fourth largest army in the world. They were well equipped and dug in. They needed to be softened up. This is where air power was brought into play with devastating effect. From the start of the shooting in January 1991, Iraq's ground forces were subject to incessant attack. By the end of the month, as the interdiction campaign progressively smashed Iraq's air power, command and control networks, more and more coalition air assets were free to be turned against Iraq's troops, artillery positions, supply centers, and lines of communications, destroying their effectiveness for the land battle to come. Giant B-52 bombers unloaded thousands of tons of explosives on Iraq's best troops, the Republican Guard, which was being held back as a mobile reserve.
The EW called out the possibility of a threat. The Iraqis had gotten pretty smart and they did not turn their radars on for any length of time. We had an explosion on the left side of the aircraft that we could tell was aft. It caused the aircraft to roll in about 10 or 15 degrees of bank. It was hard to tell because, like I said, we were in the process of doing S-turns the way it was. And when I looked out, I saw one go just off to my right side, just in front of the wing, and then a second one about, what I think, about 100 yards or so to the right of the aircraft. So the maneuvering and the jamming that the EW was doing probably saved, well, he did save us from taking at least 2 more, if not 3 more hits. I wasn't too concerned about the situation until I read the maintenance report of all the near misses and the possible damage that could have been done, and the over 65 holes that were in the airplane. When I saw that, then I wished I could have had a cold drink of some kind.
Clearly, the coalition ground offensive was coming, but without aerial reconnaissance, the Iraqis could not know when and where. The Iraqi forces could do little to interrupt the constant bombardment. Their battlefield air defense system had been reduced to limited numbers of missiles and obsolete gun systems. Although a small number of Allied aircraft were shot down or damaged, the devastation of Iraq's army was complete. When the coalition ground force moved, it moved fast. The assault burst upon the Iraqi army on March 24th. U.S. Marines, U.S. Army, Saudi, Kuwaiti, Egyptian, Syrian, and other Arab forces poured into Kuwait through engineer-blasted gaps in the Iraqi defenses. Far to the west, American airborne and air assault troops, in company with a French light armored division, were racing north through the Iraqi desert, heading for the Euphrates, with the aim of cutting off all Iraqi forces in the Kuwait theater of operations. In the center came the main punch. The U.S. Army's 7th Corps, a heavily armored 5-division force, including the British 1st Armored Division, drove along the Kuwait-Iraq border, outflanking the main defense lines and engaging the Republican Guard. Already demoralized by weeks of bombing, they gave themselves up by the thousands. Fixed-wing close air support was provided in the main by Air Force F-16s, A-10s, and Marine Corps AV-8Bs. The A-10's huge gun and powerful weapon load ripped through Iraqi artillery and armor with ease. 2 A-10s established a record at the end of the war by destroying 35 tanks in a day.
Well, the basic mission of the A-10 is close air support. Currently, until the ground war starts underway, we're doing a lot of AI missions and OCA missions targeting Scuds as well as EW sites, and we're actually doing some SAM site targeting.
It's back to the old stick and rudder flying. It's not an electric jet. It's got 2 hydraulic systems. The stick moves, the plane moves. You can feel it. You can feel the nuances in each jet. You still use the rudder in the plane when you're flying it, and it's more back to the old style flying.
The final impetus to surrender came when the close support aircraft brought the battle to a close by annihilating the massive Iraqi column fleeing from Kuwait along the Basra Road, which became known as the Highway of Death.
We try to be as professional in our job as the people in the Air Force are in theirs. But to tell you the truth, it helps my morale, I think, more than any lift we can give anybody else's morale, because to see people pulling together in such good spirit as we've seen out here today, I'm not afraid to use the word inspiring. It inspires me, I'll tell you.
In just under 100 hours, the 500,000-strong Iraqi force in Kuwait and southern Iraq was finished, and Kuwait was liberated.